Peace. I just wanted to take a moment to build briefly about education. As 5%ers, one of the things that we teach is education should be fashioned in such a way that it enables a person and people to be self-sufficient. And we teach that because it's more in line with the true definition of education and educating someone, which you oftentimes don't see reflected in some of these so-called educational institutions here in America and throughout the world. When you look at the word educate, it comes from the Latin root adducere, which means to draw out. So a true educational process is drawing out of a person what was already there. You're not putting something in them. You're drawing out of them what was already there. Some skills, some gifts, and some talents. Now think about this. When was the last time you saw an institution utilizing a process to draw skills, gifts, and talents out of someone and teaching them how to be personally and interpersonally empowered with their own skills, gifts, and talents? You usually don't see that. What you do see is institutions set up to draw out of a person those skills, gifts, and talents that can be used for someone else's personal benefit. And that's something that we don't teach as 5%ers. Any educational process, whether a person is learning how to become a culinary chef, whether they are developing their athletic skills, whether they're learning how to read, whatever that educational process is, our approach and determined idea is self-empowerment on a personal level and also interpersonal empowerment, meaning whatever contributions you make with those skills, gifts, and talents should be equal in value to their social impact, meaning it's not just about whatever you can do on a personal level, but it's also about the type of impact you can make on a collective level. So this is one of the things that I encourage those of you to do that are in these educational institutions that realize that what's being drawn out of me, I'm not being encouraged to be empowered or to be self-sufficient. You have to take an approach of self-empowerment and self-sufficiency, regardless of what institution that you're learning in or that your children are learning in. And that's something that you're not usually going to get from the institution itself. So that is an approach that you have to take. If you're going to school to be an engineer, then you have to consider, how can I utilize what's being drawn out of me for personal empowerment so that I can also be a positive asset to the collective or to the society? Because I'm not learning this in this institution. I'm learning it so that I can just maybe go get some money, or maybe I can make some Fortune 500 company rich. We have to be able to think on a level of self-sufficiency, because without thinking in that way, we're really not being educated. We're being conditioned. So this was inspiring, empowering, and educating, and gave those of you a little bit of insight into one of our perspectives on education. It should always be fashioned to enable a person and people to be self-sufficient, because if it's not, then we're not being educated. We're being used as tools and as slaves and making others rich off of our skills, our gifts, and our talents. Peace.